Hey guys, what's going on? It's Mike with FormAWin. Today we have Matthew, one of our star clients who just got in the Boeing. Let's get started, everybody.
FormAWin for over 4 months
Part
now.
of the FormAWin community for a couple months now.
I just got my first internship.
Just landed my first internship.
Biggest thing I want you guys to do is take one thing away from today and make sure you implement it in your life.
100% directly resulted in me getting an internship offer.
Matthew,
Hello.
Matthew, what's going on, man? Great to have you. I just want to start with you're one of our top clients. Everybody that comes into this program is like-minded. That's a hard worker, passionate, and something I always say is that I can't teach heart, and you have heart, man. So why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
So yeah, my name is Matthew Bransky. I'm a Purdue alum. Went to Purdue for my undergrad and continued on in my master's degree there. I did research at Zucrow Labs, focusing a lot on propulsion design when in astro and aerospace. I've worked with solid, liquid, electric, and hybrid rocket fuels, along with hypergolic rocket fuels, in both primarily in a research setting. I worked at Triumph Aerospace Structures during my freshman year from a airframe design perspective. I worked with Blue Origin on the New Shepard rocket following the New Shepard 23 mishap as part of a return to flight campaign. My work was seen on New Shepard 24, 25, 26. I then went back to finish my master's degree, and now I'm going to be working for Boeing.
Awesome, man. I love it. And this has been a journey, and it was also a quick journey with you too. So I mean, I'm proud of you.
Yeah, it was really quick turnaround from getting in the program, and then I have a job offer in hand.
That's how it works, man. And I mean, like a lot of this was on you, but also us. I mean, navigating it, doing it together, and we're going to talk all about that. But my
Absolutely.
coaches have said, there's a day that you're born, the day that you die, and a day that your life changes forever. And just stepping into that new, just person that you want to be, like making a decision to start coaching. That just obviously just completely opened the doors to just let you be your best self, and you are your best self, and you deserve this nonetheless, man. So let's chat a little bit about where you were at maybe before FormAWin and maybe what you were feeling about the job search. Why don't you talk to people about that?
Yeah, so going out at the end of, I think it was May 20, yeah. So May 2025, I finished my master's degree in aerospace engineering. No job offers on the table. And it was a particularly rough time for me personally. There were a few family tragedies that had just happened recently. So I was kind of slow when it came to job hunting. Once I really got into it, I was getting several bites, usually getting to a couple of first stage interviews, but nothing was really going anywhere. Months would pass. I would get some interviews. I would get some ghostings. I just wouldn't really get something. And then eventually I started looking into coaching to see what else I can do to fix, see if someone else had a different perspective. I was looking in a bunch of different ways. You were not my first, but I think between all of them, you guys helped me acquire a solid position. I was working on a lot of personal projects to try and buff up my resume. I was doing a lot of part-time work. I've been working on my private pilot license alongside all that as both a way to build myself up further and to as a personal motivation. But really, a lot of things just came together at the end of all this to get me my position.
Yeah, man. Yeah, no, I mean, it's been incredible, right? Just at least because you do all this stuff too, right? And it's just all this is defining who you are because you're an awesome engineer. Obviously, when we first spoke with each other, I saw that you were technically sound. I saw that you kind of had all the experience. A lot of people have the experience, but you're passionate about it as well, right? So just when we start on working on that positioning, how we approach the different situations and how we handle them too, right? Because that's what coaching is, everybody. If if information was a problem in today's world, everybody would be rich, fit, and fulfilled, because you can go chat GPT, the master blueprint to life, and it'll actually, spit something out. So that's the funny part, right? And with coaching, right, it's about how we react to situations and how we handle it to control the outcome and produce the best possible one. So that's what we did. And that's obviously, given your background as well. I just loved every second of it. What's talk to us about what made you decide to invest in the coaching, right? Because that's a big step for everybody, right? It's a risk, but you've worked with other coaches before. What made you say, hey, FormAWin is going to be a good choice for me?
It really wasn't anything super positive. Let's say that. I've around the time I found you and a couple of the others, I was nearing the end of my rope. I've been exhausted every source of knowledge. I've gone through my entire LinkedIn set of connections multiple times, trying to leverage those connections and just not getting anywhere. Admittedly, I was close to the end of my rope, asking what else can I do and trying to get those alternative perspectives. I had tried other coaching methods before for trying to go cheaper, and yes, FormAWin was a bit of an investment, but I figured let's see if I could put down something and get something back.
Yeah, and well, you did, and then some, right? So, so we'll talk about that later a little bit. Not specifics, but I mean, we had a good turnaround. So again, I'm really proud of you.
Yes.
Thing that happened, but more so inside of the program as well. I mean, what specific like wins or moments like stood out for you as part of the program, or what was your favorite experience with it? Just give everybody like a little nutshell, 10,000 foot view, spin of the globe, something view, whatever you want to call it.
Sure. So starting my program of the program was a little bit rocky. I got introduced to the program from a different program. Do you want me to bring it up, or are you wanting this to focus on yours?
What I'll do is I'm going to.
Yeah. So my introduction to the program was a little bit rocky. Around the time I found this program, I had a family trip planned in the very near future to internationally for a family vacation. So scheduling things and building my way up in the program was gonna be slow, and I got a little bit impatient. We started off with you giving me like a set of 5 goals to do. One of those was like start looking into career fairs hosted by various companies, but don't go to them yet. Don't go to them yet. And I was very impatient. Let's be honest here. I saw one from Boeing that just happened to pop up on my LinkedIn feed. At the time, I was already doing some other stuff you were suggesting, trying to build more connections, trying to post daily. That was something I was doing, but something you said was a good thing to keep up traction, keep up my visibility there. Anyway, I'm navigating around. I saw this post on LinkedIn for this Boeing career event, and I saw it was local. So I said, hey, there's this thing. You said don't go to it yet. I said, yeah, but what if I do it anyway? So I went to it after signing up. I went there. I chatted up these Boeing reps for a couple of hours. Yeah. I brought a resume with me, which you helped me fix up and make sure was good to go. It was a 4-page resume. One or two of the reps was not amused by that. But it very much is who you talk to when it comes to what they like to see with the resume. That being said, I did run into a bit of an issue that I'm sure we'll touch on later when it came to the application process, but it was really kind of interesting because one of the reps I talked to there happened to be the same person who recommended this job to me, happened to be the same person who interviewed me one-on-one. And I was with that one person the entire way through, all because I decided to take a leap and go to this career fair.
Yep.
I got to say that it's not exactly a single moment, but that entire sequence of events that spanned prior to and after my family vacation was just like, wait, I've been trying for how many months and now it just works.
Yeah. Like that, that's the best part. And then I definitely want you to expand off of it, whatever else you want to share. But guys, like this is it, right? Because everyone's situation is different. Everyone goes into their job search a little bit differently. And I don't treat every client the same on purpose. So Matthew, the biggest thing I loved about him is at the beginning when we were talking about this, right? To be a master student is to take what your coach says, but then one up it, right? So you one upped it and then some, which I love, right? Because that's just how you get the most out of life, everybody, right? To show that you're coachable, you build trust. So I mean, me and Matthew are going to know each other for the rest of our lives for sure. So I just love that.
I
So
think I caught you a little off guard when I said, "Oh, I'm going," and can you chuck my resume last minute right before I was walking out the door? Hey, are these business cards good that I made up on the fly?
yep.
And I'm sure there was probably a little bit of unease about me just jumping the
Hey,
gun there,
no,
but
listen.
it worked
Yeah,
out.
yeah, no, guys, like I'm all for it, right? And that's the thing too about speed of execution, right? Like, I mean, there's no excuses with me, right? Like just for awareness for everybody watching, all my clients, Matthew, it's like, this is your life. Like, this is not a joke, right? So when we start moving to do something, when we need to respond, when we need to do something, and we need to react to a certain situation, I'm there because it's your life, and like your life kind of is on the line. I mean, there's always going to be something else in the future, maybe whatever, but like I always say that, like we don't have to do it, we get to do it. So I treat that for the rest of my life, but also just with everything that we do, right? And I'm very blessed and called to be able to do this and have this responsibility to help everybody out. But also Matthew just kind of took it, ran with it, and like that's how you do the best. That's how you shine inside of your job too. And I mean, you guys are going to see him be a leader in the industry. So why don't you expand a little bit more, maybe about some interview prep, some more about the rest of the process, and or just anything else you want to share with everybody?
So the big thing I benefited from here was I'll give you credit for is your resume was the one that or your revision of the resume that I gave you is what ended up getting me interviewed. It there were some things where the Boeing rep wanted some things a little bit rearranged, but I'm not going to get too into that. I've gone through a lot of interview prep, a lot of it. A big thing, Boeing will even, if you land an interview with Boeing, they will send you a document saying how to prep for your interview. It was admittedly more of what I've been doing. Boeing stands by the STAR interview response. So you probably heard that a million different times from a million different people, but more practice never hurts anyone. Once I got through the interview, help with negotiating my contract was really huge. FormAWin really helped me with that and put me a bit at ease. I'm sure Michael could tell you how I was really antsy after the first offer went back and forth. They gave me 48 hours to respond. Initially, I responded back saying, "Hey, could we maybe get a higher value here?" And then it was just silent for about a week, and I'm like, "Am I good? Did I mess up? Did I just lose the job?" And Michael did a really good job of putting me at ease about that, making sure I knew that no, I did okay. They just have more people, and eventually they got back to me with a offer I was really happy with. Yeah, the FormAWin helped me in a bunch of ways. I saw like tangible results. There were some ways I'm sure that were not as clear cut, but it has been, and I'm sure will continue to be a great program for me. You've mentioned how this is going to continue past after I actually start. I'll make sure to keep up with you and see where things go from there.
Yeah, man, guys. So like, let's just give a little context here too, right? Just with everything that he's saying, especially with how we followed up with the interview, how we arranged negotiation, how we responded to situations. All this stuff is tactical, right? Because the major thing is like the words you use, the way that it conveys. Because like how you can say one thing could mean a different thing than someone else, and it's just very important that we articulate what we want and what the situation is based off of what inputs we get. So basically, long story short, we just controlled what we said in a very specific manner to get a good result. And that's what
I'm
happened.
going to quote my mom here. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. I've been told that a million different ways for a million different reasons.
Yeah. Yeah, no, exactly, right. And the other part about this too is like this is clockwork for us, right? Especially, me and Mary, for everybody watching, Mary's one of our first clients. Go check out her testimonial video. She's been with us since. And like this is a clockwork for us as far as like how these interviews go. Everyone is different, yes, but we still control how it is, right? And like there's just a difference when we approach interviews and the whole how we get into the company. We just approach it differently. So it's more of a mutual playing field. Once it is a mutual playing field, then it's less about them kind of dictating what needs to happen and more like, hey, they love us. And something that we always like to say too is just we always want to leave everyone better than we found them. You guys are going to hear me say it all the time in a bunch of videos, but it's true. And if you guys live by that, life gets easier because we have a responsibility to help everyone out around us. And worst case scenario, I always love to say we change someone's life. So with these people, with all the interviewers and the people you interviewed, worst case scenario, they're probably going to remember you forever just by the way that we interacted with them. So I love that. And then what you had just said is yes, the next part too, which I'm really awesome, excited for you to come join us and a few others as well for an accelerator program. Because guys, like once we get the job, that's cool, but right, what's next, right? And we want to stand out, we want to excel, and we know how to do that. And Matthew's going to be taking part of that as well. So it's going to be incredible. I'm really proud of you, man. So I want to conclude with a few other things, right? What would you say to someone, maybe a student or maybe, an engineer looking to transition? Because we work with a bunch of different types of clients. So what would you say to someone who might be on the fence about joining FormAWin?
It's worth the leap. That's the big thing I'd say. People take advice differently from different people. And sometimes you'll find that hearing the same thing heard from someone different can help in a way you didn't think. I have trouble taking the same advice from certain sources that I do take it from other sources. I wouldn't have paid as much attention if I weren't given the advice to look out for it. I'd say it's worth the leap. I'd say it's worth the chance. You're not really losing anything by giving it a go. It could be some of the same information you've heard before, but worst case, it's more practice, more way to build yourself up. This is probably the 10th, at least, time I've completely overhauled my resume since college. And there's going to be more. And everyone has a different perspective on it. One more can't hurt.
Yeah, 100%, man. I love that. Then for everybody watching too, right? Everyone's situation is different. Matthew was ready to go, and we just handled this, and we made it happen. So, Matthew, I'm really proud of you, man. And for everybody,
Thank you.
feel free to reach out to us, whatever you need. We got your back for life. And yeah, man, we'll see you later, Matthew. Can't wait to see you inside the rest of the program. Everybody watching, thank you so much for watching. Go FormAWin. We'll see you next time.